That play yesterday is very indicative of who the New England Patriots are now as an organization. Before I even get into that play, it's the rest of the team too. It's not just a moment. It's not just a single game. It's what they have been really post Tom Brady and really even before Tom Brady left. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, look at the offensive line, the running game outside of Ramondre Stevenson, the offense as a whole outside of Ramondre Stevenson. They have not kept up to what the current NFL is. You have to have some playmakers on offense, and it's not good enough on defensive alone to win games and win a Super Bowl. And even if it was, they don't have the defense to compete. They've let stars like Mr. Chandler Jones leave. They've let their better corners leave over time. And now the defense, it's still good, but it's not good enough to carry them like they once were. The offensive line, they've let their star tackles leave. They've let these offensive line pieces walk away, and they just said, we'll replace them. We'll replace our defensive players. We'll replace our offensive line players. We'll replace our wide receivers. They keep with this mentality that we'll just replace. We'll find the talent somewhere. We'll draft. And that just simply hasn't happened. They haven't drafted well in a long time. They don't go out and fight for these top free agents like a lot of these teams are. They're not making these blockbuster deals like we see with DeAndre Hopkins going to the Cardinals, like Tyreek Hill to the Dolphins, like Devontae Adams to the Raiders. They're not taking these big swings, which is required now. You kind of have to put your chips not necessarily all in, but you got to put almost all your chips in every given season to try to go and make a run for the Super Bowl. They don't do that. They'll draft a second-round wide receiver. They'll give up a fifth-round pick for Devontae Parker. They'll give $10 million to Jonnu Smith, $10 million to Hunter Henry. They'll divvy it out, but they don't have a single alpha on this offense that's going to be able to carry them through. Ramondre Stevenson is a great player. 172 yards yesterday and a touchdown. Him in a little box. Put him to the side. He's great. He's fine. Everything else on this offense is mediocre at best. You have a safety/secondary piece playing valuable in the game in valuable moments now for the New England Patriots, scoring touchdowns for the New England Patriots. There's only 3 players that have caught passes for the New England Patriots that have more touchdowns than Marcus Jones has at this point in the season. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's one thing if you don't have the weapons, but maybe then you have an athletic quarterback. It's not what Mac Jones is. Lamar Jackson has no wide receivers. Most casual NFL fans probably couldn't name you a single one of his wide receivers, but Lamar Jackson is just that good. He can go out and make plays. Mac Jones isn't like that. I've been critical of Mac Jones. I haven't really been critical of him this season because it's not fair to him. He doesn't have the weapons. He doesn't have the receivers. His running game has been inconsistent this year. Ramondre Stevenson's been good, but he's gotten injured a little bit. Damian Harris has been out for a few games now. It's not fair to look at Mac Jones this season and say who he is. And he's had some good moments in spite of all this. Despite the fact that he's being held down by his coaching, which is then another massive issue with this team. Bill Belichick, yes, he's the greatest coach of all time. He's got all these Super Bowls, all these amazing accolades, but his decision-making to hire coaches is got to be one of the worst in the league at this point. He's hiring his former players that he's comfortable with. He's hiring his son that he's comfortable with. He's hiring former coordinators to coach out of position. That's what Mac Jones is dealing with Matt Patricia. He's bringing somebody over who is a horrible head coach with the Detroit Lions. He was a defensive-minded coach to coach up Mac Jones in a lackluster offense to begin with. It's not like if the Kansas City Chiefs went out and brought in Brian Flores to coach up their offense. Brian Flores, he did not do a great job on the offensive side of the ball with the Miami Dolphins as a head coach, but he was a good coach, and nothing else, he's a good leader. If you had him coach the Kansas City Chiefs offense, he probably could make it work. Matt Patricia's not doing anything to coach up Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton, Jacoby Myers, who is, of course, guilty of that just horrendous play there at the end of the game. You don't have the personnel, and you don't have the coaching. And now, this is what the New England Patriots are. Last play of the game, that was all combined into one. The blame, they did take, I will give them credit, they did do a good job at taking responsibility. Pretty much anybody that was asked about the final play there took responsibility on it. So I respect them for that. They do handle themselves well at the podium. But it starts at the top. It starts with the man running that offense. It starts with Matt Patricia, informing his quarterback, his leader, with Mac Jones. Make sure we don't do anything stupid. Hold on to the ball. We'll take it into overtime. We have 10 minutes to then try to go beat the Raiders. Raiders have blown, at the time, 4. It was about to be 5 if they could have held on there. 5 halftime leads, 5 double-digit leads in the season so far. Starts with Matt Patricia. Then it goes down to the quarterback. You're the leader. Mac Jones, yes, you're in your second year there, but one of the things that some people talk highly about is your football intelligence. To command an offense, not going to make a lot of great plays, not going to make anything flashy, but he's going to run an offense that you ask him to. You got to then deliver. Hold on to the ball. Don't make any stupid plays. And then finally lies on Jacoby Myers. Now, Jacoby probably was a little thrown off by the fact that Ramondre handed him the ball in the first place. And he's like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. But you're paid all this money. You're a professional athlete. You got to know better than that. It starts at the top with the coaching, then down to the personnel. And this is now who the New England Patriots are. They're a team that just committed the worst play in NFL history that I've ever seen. What is Jacoby thinking there, truly? You have 2 Jones lined up on the 50-yard line. One's name is Mac. He's unathletic. He's trying to get a little more mobile this year, but he's a pocket quarterback, and that's truly it. Versus you have Chandler Jones, one of the most athletic, one of the best pass rushers in the league. Patriots used to have him. They know what they know what they're going against in Chandler Jones. Who do you trust to win the ball there? Who do you trust on a one-on-one jump ball? Chandler Jones, Mac Jones. We saw what happened. The more athletic, the better player, the player that should have been kept by this Patriots organization, makes the play, go down and win for Oakland, for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's so telling of who these Patriots are now. And I'm having a fun time watching it. The Patriots were the class of the NFL for such a long time, winning these 6 Super Bowls. Belichick's one of the winningest coaches in NFL history, the best coach in NFL history. But now, he's stubborn. They don't draft well, they don't coach well, and now they don't even play well. So what are the New England Patriots? They are, at the end of the day, a 7-7 playoff team, or 7-7 team that has hopes of making the playoffs. But even if they do somehow fall, stumble, trip into the playoffs, just like the Steelers did last year, it's going to be a similar ball game to what it was for the Patriots last year, a similar ball game to what it was for the Steelers last year. They don't have enough. They're not coached well enough. They don't have the talent. And it's getting embarrassing. It's getting worse for the New England Patriots.